Hey YouTube, what's going on? I've decided I'm going to put together, it's early, what month is it? Early May, ice water. I was putting up videos every second or third day, and that was pretty cool. And I guess you guys like that. And I apologize, the last 2 months I've been pretty sporadic. I think in April I may have put up 4 or 5 videos. In May I think I put up 2 already, 1 or 2. I do apologize for that. It's not like I don't have anything going on, but in a nutshell, here it is in a nutshell. Me, right now, today, in a nutshell. Ready? Burned out. I have probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 movies that are partially started, and I just never followed through, so they're not really complete enough to post. They probably won't ever see YouTube just because they're kind of half-heartedly put together, and that I just don't want to throw garbage up to make a video upload. I've had a never-ending supply of regular work, which, as I've mentioned before, I've told people before, I haven't done a lot of residential work lately. The majority of the work I've been doing is rental, mild commercial and rental unit stuff, which is always quick turnaround, high production. I've got 27 things to do before I can get my painter in there, and getting videos is just not really that feasible because, again, I don't want to put up garbage. Projects around here pretty much get stalled out with the musical, and I'm completely fried on the musical. I'm glad it's over. We closed a week ago and struck the set. Actually, we struck the set about a week ago, and it was nice to see that one go. The musicals are always more time-consuming and more involving than the plays, and plays are in the fall, the musicals are in the spring. I usually assembling my team of misfits around February, and we usually don't strike till the end of April, early May. So it's a huge time-consuming, life-disrupting thing that I do. And I don't do it begrudgingly. I really do enjoy working with the kids. I enjoy having my children involved in it. And the productions are fun. I mean, the opening night, you forget about the 3 months of no sleep and 20-hour days between everything. But it went really well. This spring musical went really well. It was a lot of fun. But it was a lot of fun to see it go. I can't wait for my youngest to graduate high school. One more year. I have 2 more productions to put on, and then I can retire from that, and I'll look forward to that. Last weekend was prom weekend, and the Mighty Suburban was once again a prom limo, redneck limo, as you may say. I was going to take video of that. Last couple of years I've used it as a transport, a prom transport wagon. I've taken video of the lighting effects that I've done, and putting a coat of wax and making it nice and shiny, because everybody seems to get a kick out of seeing that old workhorse spit shine. Now, I certainly love doing it. Don't get me wrong, man. I dig it. I spent the afternoon. It was a Friday. Prom was on a Friday, so I came home early and I spent the afternoon. I didn't wash it because we're in the middle of this drought thing, but I took a damp towel and I wiped the thing down top to bottom with a wet towel. And then I waxed it, spit shine the tires, put some bacon grease on the tires, and the truck looked great. And I had some different LEDs, and I didn't take any video of it, and I apologize for that. But I had my friend Tim, who manages a theater. He loaned me these LED strips that were probably 10-foot long, 2 10-foot long flexible LED strips that ran with these little controllers and remotes. And that was a kick. So the kids got the remotes, they could control the light show, and I ran them around the perimeter and across all the trim pieces inside the truck, gave the kids the remotes, gave them the jack for the front input on the stereo so they could control all the music. It was fun. Dropped them off, this big old lifted 4-wheel drive mutter tire, shiny 25-year-old, 5, 6, 7, almost 28-year-old lifted Chevy truck showed up among all these super stretches and all these people trying to be fancy, and we were just having as much fun, if not more fun, than them. And it doesn't cost the kids anything, which I like. Save your money. You go drive it around afterwards, get a bite to eat, go check out just wherever they want to go. It doesn't matter. And then I drop everybody off at their prospective homes, so everybody gets home safely. and I like that. So the bees, I've had some questions about how the bees are doing, and the bees took an interesting turn, if you remember. And I should have done video on this because it's probably interesting to about 36 people who watch my videos, this whole bee thing. I know I don't get that many views when I upload bee videos, but I think it's fun. I think it's very cool, and maybe someone can learn, or someone can help me learn from this whole process. But if you remember, the queen that we got through the winter, it was a weak hive going into the winter. Quick recap, we lost the queens. They superseded her back in July, and then that first batch of queens didn't take, and then we didn't get a laying queen in there until November. So my population seriously dwindled, and we got some kind of emergency queen in there. I don't know what she's doing. But in February of this year, February 11th, I think is what it was, I added a second box because I thought there was enough population, and they immediately took to that top box and started working on it. But then I noticed within 2 weeks that the population was dwindling and the queen was just not laying. She's not a very good layer. So after about a month, I think it was, March 15th or 16th, I don't have the dates with me, I pulled the top box off. I shook all the bees down to the bottom box, and it was probably only about 60% full. And right now, it's meager. I think, Mother Nature's something else, and queen bees are a lot like people. Some are just go-getters. Man, you get some queens in there in your hives, and they just are ripping out brood, and some don't, and she's a don't. So, I don't know. Fortunately, I had the foresight to build a nuke in March, and nukes are these half boxes that fit about 5 frames. The deep boxes that I use fit 10 frames. Picture half of that. So I built this little nucleus, and I dropped it off at my Superfly bee guy's house, who has dozens and dozens of beehives. And I'm like, hey buddy, can you make me one? Because I'm not too sure about how this one at home is going to work. And so 3 weeks ago now, it was 3 weeks ago now, I brought the nuke home. And that nuke is ripping. Out of the 5 frames in that box, there are 4 frames. So like 6 sides out of the 4 frames just loaded with capped cells. No checkerboarding, all these beautiful broods. And it was full. So this morning, I took them out of the nuke. Well, here's what I did. This morning, I took the new bees out of the nuke, and I put them in a 10-frame deep box. And then I took the remaining bees out of the old hive, and there's probably like 200 bees left in a queen, and I threw them in the nuke. I cleaned the nuke out, warmed it up to get all the moisture out of it, and then I threw them in there. So she's going to live, the older queen is going to live in the nuke to whether they do or don't make it. I don't know. And then the newbies that I have, which I just put into the big box today, I'm going to have them build a queen cell, and I'm going to split them. I'm not worried about honey again this year, as everybody always asks me how much honey you're going to get. And quite honestly, I would rather have healthy hives than honey. So I'm going to split them as soon as they decide they want to build a queen cell. I'm going to let them do it, and I'm going to split them. And it's just an adjustment for me. It's an adjustment for me for only having one hive. I'm used to dealing with many hives and not just one. So if anybody's thinking about getting into beekeeping and you're really serious about going to get into it, like me, where I throw myself headfirst into everything I get into, I would recommend 2 or 3, at least two, because I have no backup plan. If this queen dumps out, other than them building an emergency queen, I have no backup plan. With 2 or 3 hives, you can kind of play around with things. You can build your own colonies with new hives, new queens. The GTO, everybody always asks me, you getting the GTO out? I took a look at it yesterday, and that thing hasn't been on the road, tagged and on the road since 2012, and it's really sad. In my mind, that's really pretty sad, because there's nothing to do to that car except get in it, turn the key, and go. It's on a battery tender. It's got good tires, fresh oil change, good battery. Frick. I just have to get the time to take the cover off and drive it, and I'm really, really hoping that by July or August of this year, I can get a lot of driving in before the weather turns. We'll see. The horde clearing adventure continues here at this house, the city house. And what you guys don't realize is that this 16 by 16, I have 2 other sheds, or I don't call them shops because I don't do any work in them. They're just storage sheds, and they were full at one point in time. I have 2 other sheds on this property, and there's a lot of stuff to go through, and I've been throwing stuff out. My garbage can is full. This weekend I've been throwing more stuff away because that's just what I have to do. I have one more car to sell, which I have doing some work on it right now. I've got to get an emission test on it, putting a new windshield in it. So I kicked the windshield out of it a couple days ago when I got home from work because there's a little rust in the corners. I want to dig that stuff out and kill the rust, and then I don't install windshields. I have a company come and drop in the windshield in. But then it's off to get sold, get an emissions test and get it sold. And then my vehicles will be in line, but my junk here at the city house is pretty close. And I still have a lot of stuff up at the ranch. You guys know my horde is so big it spreads out over 2 states, which is pretty sad. But it's taken me 20 years to get this horde, so you know, it's not going to take me 6 months to get rid of it. I do have a poaching video to upload. I got a lot of great feedback and some great stories about poachers and trespassers and whatnot. And I do have it, and I've got the footage lined up in iMovie. I want to do a voiceover on it because when I shot the video, I shot it with the intention to submit that video evidence to the Department of Fish and Game, to a game warden. So I'm talking about coordinates and locations on my property and various roads in and out, and you guys don't need to know all that stuff. So I'm going to do a voiceover on it. Let's let this plane fly around. If you guys really want to see it, it's kind of interesting, I think. It's kind of sad. It's extremely frustrating. And half of me is happy. Half of me is mad that I didn't see who did it, but half of me is pretty happy that I didn't see who did it, because it just wouldn't have ended well. It just wouldn't have been. We'd have been fighting. Let's just say. Speaking of the ranch, I have cut a deal with a guy up there who's got end dump service, and I'm going to trade some labor for about 60 or 75 yards of shale, and that'll be happening in the next couple weeks. I'm going to be shooting up there and putting the tractors to work. I'm going to bring Skippy, the shop dummy, who you've seen in plenty of my videos. He's coming up. I'll probably put him on the 8N, and then I'm going to use that little Gilson tractor with my homemade box scraper to smooth out the pad. And the work that I'm going to do for my friend up there, he basically says, man, whatever rock you need, I'll haul it up there. And so that'll be cool. So that might be a fun video. Put those old tractors to work and make that parking pad more usable year-round, as now it's kind of a mud pit till it dries out. The 2 lingering projects here in the city house are the sawmill and that 73 Gilson, the second hydrostat that I want to paint. I do want to paint that one. I'm not talking full restoration on it. Well, I don't know. I say that now, but it's going to come all the way apart, get painted and put back together. I want to do that, but I want to get the sawmill running. I'm very close. I'm probably 80% there, 85% with that sawmill, and it's been a multi-year process, and it's never really been a extreme priority to get it done, which is, I don't know. That's either good or bad. But it was going pretty well till I found that 8N back in November. I haven't touched it since November right now. It is what it is. Same thing is going to be tomorrow. The hoarder house that I was working on clearing out, that's done. Completed, done, which is nice. That was January, February, March, April. I just finished it 2 weeks ago. So May, so short of 5 months that I spent there. 4 months. We'll just call it 4 months. Anyway, I gotta run, gotta go. See ya. See ya. You're waiting on me. Okay, I'll go shut the camera off here. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you hanging in there, being patient. I'll see you guys soon. See ya.